confess, Father, I confess, 'cause I've been living wrong. I know.
Hello guys, what's up? Today we'll be learning how to program in Java and we'll start from the very basic. So if you haven't programmed in Java ever before, I think it's a perfect place to be. Alright, so to program in Java, we usually use an IDE and for our tutorials we'll be using Eclipse. And some of you might think, why are we using Eclipse? Um, uh, for the most programmers I know, they personally feel Eclipse is better, and according to zeroturnaround.com, 68% of the Java developers they use Eclipse. So, but if you like NetBeans, you can just download NetBeans and do and program in NetBeans, but it doesn't really make a difference. So let's start downloading Eclipse. So you just go to Google and write Eclipse or just write Eclipse and just go to this first link over here. It's called Eclipse Downloads. Click this, and the latest version right now is Eclipse Neon. So we'll just download this. And it might change in a few months or years, but you never know that. So just download this, and it's really simple. So for you, because I already had a download, I won't do that again. But I'll just tell you, just save this file. And as soon as you save this file, just open it and click next until it installs it. And it's really simple. So it's nothing like you should be worried. But just in case, like if you couldn't get it installed, just feel free to question me and I'll post a video on how to install Eclipse. So I have my Eclipse installed here. And once you get it installed, just click the application and open it. Alright, so whenever you open the application, the first thing it gives you is a workspace. So what is workspace? Workspace is basically the destination. It's the location where all your Java projects you make on Eclipse will be stored. So this is my workspace and I'm good with this. So, but just in case you want to change it, just go browse, and if you want to do desktop, just click here. If you want to do this PC, just click here or whatever. So once you get your workspace done, just click OK. And this might take like a few seconds. This might take a little longer the first time, but it usually takes 5 to 10 seconds. All right, so now, so the first step, once you open this, you go to the top right workbench and you click this. All right, so this is the place where we'll code every time, correct? So now you're wondering what to do now. There's nothing I can click, touch on. These are my previous assignments, so just leave them. Alright, so how do you create a Java project? You go to File, you click New, and you create Java project. Okay, so for the project name, so for every project you need to have a project name. So for project name, you can have spaces. Like you can either write like this, hello world, or you can like write like this, hello world. There's no restriction really. So you just go there, and because I'm creating the project that's hello world, I just name it this. You can name it anything, and just click finish. So as soon as you finish it, you see there is this folder that's appearing here, and there's a src file to it. But even if you create a Java project, it isn't letting me click or code, right? So for every time you make a Java project, there has to be a class file. So how do you create a class file? So you click hello world, you click right click. Now, alright, so just go right click, go to new, and you see here it says class. So just write class. Okay, for the class name, there are some restrictions. It cannot be hello world. So if you do this, it says type name is not valid. The type name hello world is not a valid identifier. So for this, there cannot be spaces in it. So I'll just write this hello world. And it's a good habit to capitalize your first letter of every word. So you see H is capital and W is capital, and you just go and finish it. Okay, so this is something really cool that Java does. So whenever you create a class, it automatically writes this line. Public class hello world. Just don't really stress about it right now. We'll learn why do we have to write this line when we go to class and stuff. But I'll just tell you it's really important. If even if you change it, there's an error. And even if you change capital H to small h, there's an error, right? So you just go there. Excuse me. Yeah, so you just go there and write hello world. Alright, so now, so you gotta write C. So there should be a main class to every program you write, no matter even if it's one line or if it's a million lines. Need there has to be a main class, right? So this is something you write in every Java program. And as I said, we'll discuss it about once we really go to constructors or classes. But for now, just remember that it really needs to be there. So it would be public static void main. Okay, so what Java does for you is when you have an open parenthesis, right? There's always a closing parenthesis to it. So you do public static void main string with a capital S. If you do it with a small s, there would be error. I'll show it to you later. And brackets and args. All right, then you click enter, and you have a curly brace, and there's a closing curly brace to it, right? So for every curly brace that you open, there should be one that's closing it. So you're opening it here, you're closing it here, so that's correct. You're opening it here, you're closing it here, so that's all right. And you see there's no error. So I said if I change it to small s, you see there's an error. And we'll talk about it like later when we study about strings and all. But for now, just make sure you know that it should be capital. Alright, so the first program we make today is hello world. We gotta print out the statement hello world on our Java project. So how do we do it? So to print any statement, you need to write this line. It's capital S system dot out dot print ln. Print ln stands for print line. Alright, open parent and quotation. So whatever is inside the quotation, that is what will print on the screen, right? So, and as I said, for everything you're opening, there should be something that's closing it. So same thing with these brackets, same thing with parentheses, same thing with curly brackets, and now it should be the same thing with these quotations. So if you're opening a quotation, there should be one that's closing it, right? So there's and as soon as there's a open quotation and a closed quotation, you see there's right now there's an error because there's only one quotation. But if you put two over there, wait, and just delete one, so there are two of them, right? So there's no error. And we gotta print out hello world, so we just write hello world exclamation, and you see there's no error right now. So what system.out.println does is, as I said, it just prints any statement that's inside the quotation. So inside this and this. So anything inside this and this is hello world and exclamation mark. So now how do we compile it? So you see this green button over here. It's called a run button. So as soon as I press this, it asks me that do you want to compile this hello world.java file? And when I say okay, you can see here that it prints hello world on the screen. So that's all for today, and I'll make sure that for the next video I'll just go a little harder, and because this was a basic, just to let you know how you install Eclipse, how you really what's the basic of programming in it. You need to have this while always over there. There should be this should be always over there. In next video we will discuss in more details, but for now that's all. And if you have any questions, just feel free to write down them in the comment box and I'll answer them as soon as possible. All right, thank you, and you guys have a good one.